Deshaun. Doesn't look good, my man. You know what time it is.
Yeah.
I just need my space right now.
Fresh off the G5 jet, I'm on my way to a brand new kit.
Welcome back to Chief Studios. This is Taylor Bell, where we cover your Kansas City Chiefs and the rest of the NFL. And this video will cover part of the NFL. I wanted to get to this Deshaun Watson saga news. Doesn't look good. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what's going on with Deshaun Watson, as you know, the Texans drafted him, maybe 5-6 years ago. Started off fairly decent. Got thrown in, I believe, in week 1 when the starting quarterback sucked and basically were getting blown out, and they threw him in to give him a spark, and that's what he did. Decent quarterback. Has got all the athletic ability in the world, throws a decent ball, can also run, not as fast as Lamar Jackson, doesn't have as strong of an arm as our Patrick Mahomes, but his biggest weakness is his brain, his personality, his decision-making, which, look, I can't harp on him too much about that, or else I would be a hypocrite. I've made a ton of dumb decisions in my lifetime. However, I would like to think if I had $250 million, that's right, the Cleveland Browns signed him to like a fully guaranteed $47 million contract. I would like to think that I would straighten up my act, obviously, for a chance at that type of money. Had a rocky go around in Houston. As I'm sure y'all are aware by now, that had some allegations. I won't go too deep into it. I know there are some hot words or keywords that could get flagged here, so I'm not going to. Y'all know what happened. A bunch of allegations in massage parlors around Houston, which unfortunately there's tons of them there. And Houston it was not a good look. He kind of sat out on his own, right? He was in trouble. I guess he wasn't in trouble. He had there were no criminal allegations. It was all basically there was like not a class action lawsuit, but there was a bunch of women, massage therapists. He acted inappropriately during those massages, but there was an ungodly amount. I would say I don't know what the exact number is, and shame on me. I should have been in the prep for this video, but it was a lot. I want to say 80. I don't know. It was a lot of allegations. It seemed like every massage he scheduled outside the team. Now these teams provide massage therapists in the practice facility, may I add, provide massage therapists. He went and was seeking massage therapists via Instagram. He would DM these therapists, and he would meet up with them, whether, I don't know, I think some were at their place, some was at his place, some was at a hotel, which is a weird setting in the first place. But he acted inappropriately during those massages. Tons of allegations came out. He basically sat out while he was in Houston. He was unhappy with the front office, with the late Bob McNair, who since passed. But there were some race allegations against the ownership group in Houston, and kind of, rubbed him the wrong way, it appears, which it did a lot of people, and that's fair. I'm not blaming him for that, but he basically sat out, what was it, a year and a half, or was it 2 years? I know he sat out a year, and then basically got suspended all last year. So he was out for 2 years. Houston was looking for a trade partner. That year he was sitting out on his own. He could have played. And basically Cleveland put together a trade package for him, and Houston sent him to Cleveland. Cleveland sent picks and draft capital and that sort of thing. Now, I get into his mental part because before we get into this Cleveland thing, something has to be wrong with you mentally or I don't want to say mentally, but like decision making, right? It's like it falls into like a maturity bucket, right? Where look, you're not supposed to be doing these inappropriate things in the first place. There were even some allegations or some women that let him know that what he was doing was wrong. Yeah, I think even a suit might have come forward or two, but he continued to do it. It wasn't like a one-off where, oh, I got caught. Sorry, I touched your butt. Oh my God, I will never do that again. She threatens to sue you and the team. Like, whoa, okay. That's the normal. Even if you think the girl is leading you on to where you want to have relations with her, he was doing it without allegedly, right? I'm not trying to get in trouble, but allegedly, this is what has been alleged, that he was making advances towards women when they put no advances towards him. Basically harassment, right? But he kept on doing it. One was not enough, two was not enough, three times not enough. Basically, he got away with it for so long, but nothing in his mind told him he needs to stop, right? You're a big public figure. You're in the sports world. You're basically a household name in the sports world, not necessarily in all of entertainment and sports, but anybody that watches the NFL or basketball, they know who Deshaun Watson is. Famously won a college national championship versus Alabama. Actually went to two championship games, won, but very storied career, very, very good athlete, just not there all mentally. Now, Cleveland took a big risk trading for him. There were reports he did not want to go to Cleveland. I don't blame him. But Cleveland offered the one thing, because there's kind of negotiations going on behind the scenes before the actual trigger was pulled on the trade. So the teams negotiate the deal, but he's probably telling his agent, no, I don't want to go there. Nope, I don't want to go there. Nope, I don't want to go there. Well, Cleveland basically had to pull out. You always overpay if you want something really, 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 really bad. Cleveland has not had a quote-unquote franchise quarterback, at least not to this caliber, with this athleticism, with this potential, probably forever. They've had some decent quarterbacks in the past, but it's been 20 years ago, right? 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So they are very, very desperate. And they actually put together a decent team, a decent roster. They just never had a good quarterback. And that was always their Achilles heel. That's why they were not good every year. So they finally get the chance to get a good quarterback. And he put up some good numbers while in Houston. Had some good seasons, had some great games, very exciting games, very good player. Although one of my knocks on him is a lot of his statistics, and everybody in Houston watching will know this. He gained a lot of his stats. You really have to go back at his big games and really look at the film. A lot of his numbers, a lot of his yards, a lot of his touchdowns were accomplished in the later part of the game when the game was already out of reach. They never really did anything, never really went anywhere playoff-wise, but they would basically get blown out like in the first three quarters, and there would be like a 21-point lead, and then Houston would be down 21 points, 18 points. The defense kind of gets lackadaisical, and they're kind of sitting back on their heels, and he'll just throw darts, throw little quick passing game, and just rack up his yards like that. So his statistics are tricky. They are, if you look at them, you're like, damn, those look pretty good. But again, you have to go back. A lot of those games, he got touchdowns and passing yards when the game was already out of hand, right? But nonetheless, Cleveland offered him a guaranteed contract, a fully guaranteed contract, which you rarely ever see in the National Football League. I'm not going to get in too deep into why. Now, the only other one before this was Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, similar situation. They were desperate for a good quarterback. Now, they've had good quarterbacks in the past, Dante Culpepper and Brett Favre, but never really had a really good solid quarterback. They offer, and same thing. Kirk Cousins, I'm sure he didn't really want to go to Minnesota. I mean, I wouldn't want to play there if I had a choice, but they offered him a guaranteed contract, and sure enough, he agreed to the trade. They sent him from Washington to Minnesota. So that's the only other, and trust me, he's not getting another guaranteed contract. This is why the owners hate this type of deal. Because where we're sitting at right now, I'm sorry it took a while to lead up to this, but basically as we stand right now, Deshaun Watson is cleared to play football, and he's not. He's simply not playing. He's been medically cleared to play, and he's not playing. He's sitting out this week. He's off the He's off the game roster for the week. They came out today. He's scratched. He's had a shoulder injury, and he hasn't said it's. The team has said, pain permitting, he is available, medically cleared to play. So they're basically saying his shoulder's fine. Structurally, it's fine. There's no tears, tendons, cartilage. Everything's fine. Pain permitting. So he hasn't come out with a reason why. I'm sure he will say it's the pain, but this is the issue. If they medically can't find anything wrong with you, it's kind of like a Kawhi Leonard situation with the Spurs, right? That very last year before they traded him to Toronto, Kawhi could have played. He was medically cleared the whole year, and he sat out. The whole year, it sat out. Now, that goes back to the mental part, and I'm kind of intertwining the guaranteed contracts and the mental aspect of Deshaun Watson. This is why you don't give guaranteed contracts, and this is why I've never been big on Deshaun Watson. If you're medically cleared to play, you got to play. I know it's easy for me to say, a fan that has a stupid YouTube show in his eyes, right? Who am I? And I'd probably say the same thing. But Deshaun, you have to play. You have to play. This is unacceptable. And I know a lot of younger people, I'm 40 or 41. A lot of younger people, it is not necessarily a generation thing. I don't know Deshaun. I never talked to him, but I'm just saying could be a younger generation thing. It seems like I love, and this is why a lot of people love the NFL. And I've heard from players, if they can tie their shoes, suit up, they're going to play, right? I love that mentality. That's why football is the number one sport in America. If you can play, damn it, I'm going to play. And they play hard every single play. You got to carry them off the field. This is the complete opposite. I don't know what's going on with him. We'll look and see what some of the news is here, if he's made a statement in the last hour or two since I've checked. And this is why you don't give a guaranteed contract, because a lot of players also play super hard and want to be on the field for every single play, even if they are hurt, even if they're in pain, even if they have an injury. Put me on the field. I need to get this other contract. I need to play good. And once you have a guaranteed contract, it's guaranteed. So whether he plays this week, I don't feel like playing this week. My shoulder. Oh, you hear that pop? Oh, man. I just threw the ball and it just doesn't feel right. I'm good. We'll see. Check with me next week. It's one of those things. He's already got the money. Got his rookie deal. Got his big rookie deal. Got this $250 million $250 million deal. So basically, he's sitting at, minus taxes, but he's basically sitting at, I don't know, $280 million, something like that. So what has he got to lose, right? It appears to me. Now, what's funny is because I was like, he doesn't have like the Michael Jordan quality where Michael Jordan, very say what you want, but I never liked Michael Jordan, but what I always respect is his fighter mentality, his will to win, his competitiveness. You cannot tell me that Deshaun Watson has a high level of will to win or competitiveness. Now, maybe when he's on the field, maybe. But you think Michael Jordan's going to sit out because a few games because of shoulder soreness? No. And what's funny, I make that comparison, but Dabo Swinney, his college coach, right before he was drafted, he had a famous quote. He said, if you pass on Deshaun Watson, you're passing on Michael Jordan. Really? Well, that comment hasn't played out too well because it's turned into the complete opposite. Let's see let's see here. Deshaun Watson. Okay. Screen share Deshaun Watson. So, Browns QB Deshaun Watson dealing with shoulder injury. Deshaun Watson could miss multiple more games with strain-like deep contusion and rotator cuff. Now, hang on. Where am I? I'm still on StreamYard, right? Yeah, okay. So look, He's been medically cleared. He's had MRIs. He's had X-rays. I did extensive research, not extensive, obviously not extensive, but I looked into it. MRIs are clear. X-rays are clear. There's no structural damage. Again, it's the medical team has said it comes down to pain. The coaches said it comes down to pain. So what's up with are they not doing? I'm not sure if they are doing shots of cortisone or any steroid to reduce the inflammation. Or cortisol are believed to help with the pain and inflammation. I don't know if they're doing any of those anymore. I don't know if you lose feeling when you get those shots. It is in his throwing shoulder, I believe. So I'm not sure. Look, am I calling the guy a loser? No. Am I calling him a wimp? No, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying this is an issue because basically he's lost the benefit of the doubt, right? When you if you mess up, you make a mistake, or you do something, a big mistake, but it's just been once, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, right? Like everybody messes up. Again, I do. But if I actively see, you're trying to put forth the right effort and the right motivation and work ethic to try to get better at whatever it is you're doing, I'll give you a pass, right? Everybody messes up. Everybody's human. But with the frustrating thing with Deshaun is that this is not the first time. This is the third time that he's had like questionable activities or motives or questionable whatever, right? He's had a ton of passes on the allegations, right? With the massage there. I mean, there's tons of those he could have and should have straightened up his act. But that's off the field stuff. But it's still scouts would tell you that it still has something to do with your on-field mental makeup and personality and will to win and play. So he's had that. He sat out a year in Houston when he could have played. And then not only is he sitting out this week, but he sat out last week as well, if I failed to mention that. So we're going to the second week where he could have played and he's not playing. So everybody's different. If you want to give him a pass and still put your faith in him, that's fine. I've passed on this guy. The benefit of the doubt is gone. I'm not putting any more stock in Deshaun Watson. As far as I'm concerned, it's done. He's over. That's it. Will he have a good game or two, or maybe possibly a Pro Bowl season? Sure, why not? But it's over. It's done with. They're locked and loaded in that contract. I believe this is the second year where he gets all the money. First year, they only paid him $1 million, so he wouldn't get fined. So his money wouldn't get all gone away to the fines, which is ethically wrong in the first place, but whatever. So, look, the Cleveland Browns are not they're not winning Citizen of the Year in the front office of the Browns. Their owner has a storied past with all sorts of stuff, so you can go research that if you want to. But this is his second week sitting out, so I'm past giving him the benefit of the doubt. As far as I'm concerned, he needs to be trying to scratch and fight to claw to get on that field as much as possible. So let's see here. Browns rule QB Watson shoulder out. Well, he's playing the 49ers too, right? So he probably would have get banged up anyways. Deshaun Watson could miss multiple more games with a rotator cuff contusion. So I'm assuming that's what they're claiming his injury is, because you have to put him down on if he's not going to play, he has to be put on an injured list or injured reserve, and you have to put the reason why. So they are putting contusion out there. Let's see. Is there anything else in here that would give us any sort of insight or information? Deshaun Watson missed a second consecutive game and a third week. Oh, wow. So he's already missed. This will be his third missed game out of 5 weeks? With a shoulder injury, and could miss multiple more games. My God. Browns quarterback was diagnosed with a right rotator cuff contusion. It's a deep contusion that presents or functions more like a strain. Now, was that from? Oh, it's from Cleveland.com. Watson, who injured his shoulder in the third quarter against the Titans. team doctors medically cleared him to play October 1st. So we're going to 2 weeks of him being able to play and not. And his shoulder is structurally intact. Like I said, in a different media source, MRIs, I've said pass with flying colors. Everything's good to go. So he did some light throwing this week, but no progress. So this is a disaster in the making. You can see right here, Watson sat out the entire 2021 season with a healthy scratch. So, guys, your guess is as good as mine. But this is why you're not seeing guaranteed contracts in the NFL. Cannot risk that much money. And I'm actually, look, would I like to see them get guaranteed contracts? Sure. But if players were to get guaranteed contracts, the whole dynamic of this league and this sport professionally would be flipped upside down. This sport is not built for guaranteed contracts. It's just not. And now, should they get more guaranteed money per contract? Sure. So, like, if a player signs a $100 million contract, I think right now, it's somewhere around 40 to 50% is typically guaranteed. So, like 40 or 50 million out of the 100, and then they make the remaining amount over the remainder of the deal, however long it is. But should they get more guaranteed up front? Sure, but just don't guarantee. Maybe up from 40 to 50, maybe to 50 to 60%, but cannot guarantee everything. And this is a perfect example. Why? Because if you don't have somebody that's super competitive, that you put $250 million in, and they just kind of play when they want to, or my shoulder kind of hurts. You heard it pop earlier, whatever. It's not good. Not good. So, Deshaun, man, I hope you get better. Don't know what's going on with you, but I hope you can get on the field as soon as possible. With all jokes aside, I did enjoy watching you play in Houston, and I was actually looking forward to you playing and watching you play in Cleveland because you're a phenomenal athlete. Got some stuff off the field going, that I hope you get under control, and does make it hard to root for you. I'm not going to lie. But I hope you straighten up your act. Everybody, gets a second chance, or should get a second shot or a second chance. But we'll see where this goes. Not looking good. But just wanted to give you a brief synopsis, and we'll do that throughout the season. If I see a story that grips the nation, or a story that has influence, or even something personally that I just gravitate to, I'm going to make a video about it and put it out, because we do carry the Chiefs content, but I like to pull in some stuff from outside the Chiefs, interesting topics and what have you. So I do appreciate you joining us. We will be covering, Fred Davis is going to be streaming, I think tomorrow. So please be on the lookout for that. Just do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, and then above where it says subscribe, simply hit the bell, the notification bell, and make sure that's turned on. So whenever I, Fred, or both of us go live, you'll be notified. You can join in on the convo. So we just activated memberships. If you want to be a member of the channel, please join us. You can, if you become all members, will be able to watch Red Zone with me on Sundays. So if that sounds like something you want to do, you don't have to pay for it. You can watch it with us. So thank you for joining us. Memberships and merchandise are on below the subscribe button. So if you want to check those out, I would appreciate it. And thank you for your time. I know you got a lot of choices nowadays, and sticking with me for a good 30-minute chat is always nice to know. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it, and I will check y'all soon.